Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Sometimes it just works out when the music ends at the right time. Hey, T, how you doing? Good morning. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. T's a member of the channel. You guys can be a member, too. Just hit the join button. $1.99 a month gets you the emojis and helps you support the channel. Or I should say, gives you an opportunity to support the channel. Appreciate that. Take 6, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. We're getting prepared to do a little bit of flight simulation in the Reverb G2 and Microsoft Flight Simulator, FS 2020, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be flying in the SR22 today with the VR Aviation livery created by Diesel, one of our dedicated pilots on the on-air virtual airline, which we really haven't launched yet. But yeah, so we've got the it's really a great livery. Did a nice job with all the gold trimming and stuff. It looks awesome. I'm going to talk with him about whether he's going to make this available to folks or not, and how that's going to be done. And if so, what I will probably do is at some point I'll post the link in the description of this video so you can check it out. But you didn't expect the update this morning. Yeah, I did actually update it last night. It looks like it was just like new liveries or something. They've added some test pilot liveries and some other stuff. I really haven't checked it out. I haven't had a chance to. And some minor improvements to a few of the planes. Hoping that they fixed the CJ5, because I don't know if you guys have flown that. I actually bought one of those for in FSEconomy. And I noticed that on the PFD, the clock doesn't work, and the ETA to destination doesn't work. So I hope they fix that stuff, because it's certainly nice to have that when you're navigating in the jet, so you know when to descend and start your preparations for landing and stuff. But anyway, it's still a cool jet to fly. You like the Mooney? Yeah, the Mooney's pretty cool. I do like the Mooney. But I'm a big fan of the SR22, big fan. And actually, I got to say that since that update on the 23rd of December, or whatever it was, yeah, I think it was the 23rd, this plane has been, seems to me, performing much better than it was. So, in any event, we're going to get to it. Let me just show you what we got in store here. Oh, that's the wrong one. There's our flight. Cape May to Carlisle, right here, and then back to Cape May. It'll be about 256 miles round trip, so we'll have a little bit of time to chat in the cabin. You can see there's a big TFR here around Washington, D.C. No one's allowed to fly in that area unless you're authorized for obvious reasons. I'm not going to get into that on this stream. But let's just hope everyone in the world, in the country, just stays calm and finds their American spirit, if you will. But anyway, so this is going to be our flight, and some really nice terrain. I guess do we fly past Philly, or we should be able to see? We might have a glimpse of Philly. We're going to be pretty far away, but I'll certainly pass over portions of Upper Delaware and Dover, I think. Yeah, Dover will be right here on our way back, so we'll have some nice views and stuff. So anyway, that's going to be our route. I'm going to do all cold and dark. We're going to program the G1000 from the cockpit. See how that goes. All right. I've done that before. It seems to work okay. So should be fun. That's our plan. You live in the big red zone, yeah. I guess you probably can't even fly drones there right now, right? Anyway. Alright, so we'll tell you that I've been having some issues with the Windows Mixed Reality preview. It's as you see here, it's a little bit choppy for some reason. I don't know why. Hard to figure it out. See if it gets better, because right now so it seems to work better at times. I don't know. I think it's got to do with my CPU or my utilization of my system and the performance of my system, if you will. Right now the CPU's running at 70, 80%. That's probably because this Microsoft Flight Simulator thing is running here. I just went into the cockpit here. You can see. And I'm going to be, so right now I've got 90% CPU, 88%, well, let me go to the GPU graphics mode here. So 50% GPU. So right now the CPU is really chugging along. I don't know, I guess it's because I'm streaming or whatever. I want to see here, I'm going to go into VR, see what happens there. So that's the, you're seeing the Microsoft Flight Simulator view, and let me go into, that's Windows Preview. It's a little better. CPU is still at like 89%, 69%, sorry. So this is a little better. But I'm going to be doing my CPU upgrade soon. Yeah, it's a small update. It looks like they added some liveries and they fixed a few things with a few planes here and there. But so guys, excuse the display here. What you're seeing is a 2D display of the Windows Mixed Reality preview screen. It's nowhere near the resolution that I actually see in the headset and the Reverb G2. Unfortunately, right now there's not a great solution for desktop mirroring for the for Windows Mixed Reality. You would think there would be, but it's just not great. So we've got to, hopefully at some point, hope that people resolve that. But in any event, we're going to do cold and dark. I should be able to get this thing started up without a checklist because I've flown it so many times. Now I can't see. I'm not going to be able to see your chat while I'm in the cockpit here. So I'm going to put the headset on here and let's get this bird started and ready to go. All right, so let's go to get my mouse in here so I can see what the hell's going on. All right, so we're going to go bat 2. Let's initialize the systems. Okay, that should be getting everything going. The mixture full. We've got plenty of fuel. All right, so let's see. Let's get our nav lights on and strobe lights on, and we're gonna go bat 1 and alt 1, and we're gonna go 1/4 throttle. We're gonna put the boost on, and let's start her up. All right, good. Get alt 2 on and our avionics on. And this should come up here, so let's bring this, let's get the boost off now. Throttle back to idle. Alright, and let's see, we don't need our landing, although we could put the landing lights on to give us visibility. We don't need de-icing. Let's click this button here to get our Garmin going. Alright, so we're all set. Marshall's there. We really don't need the tow. We're going to be taking off to the west, so we're going to be taxiing to the east here. I think it's runway 28. Alright. Let's just make sure of which one runway we're taking off from. Let's see, Cape May 28. Yep, runway 28. All right, so we're gonna be taking off 28, and let me just show you here. All right, so this is what we got. We're flying for VR Aviation. Actually, let's just do a quick overview. Well, we'll do it while we're in the air. I'll do a quick overview of the last month for aviation. So we're going to be flying to Carlisle. We got 3 souls on board, which is all we can fit. We've got 68 gallons of fuel, and we're good to go there. So I'm going to hit the start flight button, and we'll just do a refresh here to make sure we're start, which is we are. So let's get rid of this window. You don't need to see that anymore. And we're good to go. All right, so let's get ourselves, let's get the flight plan in here. So now what I've noticed here is if you hit the flight plan on this center console, it brings up the smaller one on the PFD. So that's not the one we want. We want this one over here. All right, and we want to go, just to make sure, we want to delete flight plan, and we want to go get the cursor going. There you go. We're going to go there. It's a little hard to see here, so I'm going to move in here. Let's see. So we're going to go. K. W. WD. Fills it nice and for us. And our waypoint is going to be, I'll tell you that in a second. Our waypoint is going to be WRSKI. WRSKI. So let's get back into here. And we're going to go, oops. That cursor going again. I'm going to go W R S. A little hard to plug it. Unfortunately, the keypad doesn't work on this plane, but it filled it in nicely. SKI, beautiful. And then the next one's going to be N. '94. And then what we could do is we could put the next one in, which is going to be U. H. This is slow going. It would be so much better if that keyboard worked. I think it's UZU, but I just want to check. ULU. UHULU. Yeah, Hulu. U. And by the way, the text here is very tiny. So you do have to kind of lean in to see this. There's Hulu. And then we're going to go back to okay. Now we should have our whole flight plan in here, and we won't have to worry about it. It would be nice if in the world map it lets you put in multiple points, but it doesn't. All right, there it is, Cape May. That's our final destination. There's our whole, uh-oh. What? That's messed up. All right, so that's weird. So when I entered the last one, It killed the whole flight plan. What? So now I don't have a flight plan. All right, well, that's a lesson learned. You can only do one leg at a time. So now we're going to have to do this again. All right, luckily that's there. And then we can do, what was it, W? They really have to, oh wait, hold on. They really have to improve the way you input into this thing. Looking for WRSKI, there it is. Now it does, okay, there we go. And then we could just enter N94. So you have to do one, it seems like you have to do one leg at a time. Unless you use like the, so we'll just do that. All right. Okay, we don't have to be too high here, but I'll fly at, let's say 4,000 feet. We're going to go nav. We're going to go flight director. We're going to go vertical speed. We'll climb at 600 feet per minute. And we'll do the PFD wind inset of option 1, which doesn't seem to be working. Okay, we've got a caution. Alright, so we got plenty of fuel, right? Yep, plenty of fuel. Alright, we're good to go. Yeah, that was a pain in the neck. You put a post in Discord how you got the GNS knobs to work using the SciTech radio panel. Oh, cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really a pain in the ass to do it in VR with the mouse and stuff, but unfortunately right now there's no other choice. So, all right, so we're going to get in the air here. Cape May traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, sorry, Gulf Echo. We're Gulf Echo today. Is going to be taxiing to runway 28 for departure to the west, Cape May. All right, let's get over to 28 and get the hell out of here. Now, I normally run OpenXR at 50% resolution with projection off, because I always get this question. And I run Windows, FS 2020 with rendering at 100%. My options are generally about medium, because I'm using a 1080 Ti, but I have a few things bumped up where I can. Using the Bang for Buck post on the Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator forum. But when I stream, I slide the rendering in FS 2020 back to like 80%, because just to free up some GPU for streaming and stuff. But normally when I'm not streaming, I'm running it at 100. All right, here we go. Nice and smooth. So I got all the parts for my upgrade ready to go. I'm probably going to do the upgrade this weekend. Get that CPU in there. The new CPU, the i7-10700K, and the new motherboard. And get rocking and rolling. Cape May traffic, 328 Tango Delta, crossing runway 10. Cape May. Alright, we're going to cross 10 here. Sorry, 01. Sorry, 01. Almost 122 miles to Worski, and we'll hold short here in 28. Nice to be able to read everything, isn't it? So nice to be able, I mean, I could absolutely read that runway marker, no problem. Cape May traffic, 328 Tango Delta, departing runway 28. We'll be departing to pattern to the west, climbing to 4,000 Cape May. Alright, flaps to take off. Trim is set. Before we take off here, we'll take a quick outside look at this great livery by Diesel. Thank you, Diesel, for creating this awesome livery. I'm not sure if you're in the stream yet, or if you're going to be joining or watching this later, but I know these things are not easy to create, and we really do appreciate it. Let's take a nice look at that. It's awesome. Looks great. It's got the VR Aviation on the front, the VRA logo on the tail. Excellent, excellent job. I love the white and red. Looks fantastic. Really nicely done. And a lot of fun to fly, for sure. All right. We are good to go. Yeah, so I apologize for the jerky, what you're seeing as a jerky movement. Probably, I always get comments about that. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing very smooth frame consistency, wonderful VR resolution, and just a lot of fun to fly. All right, we are up in the air. We're going to get our flaps up. Cape May traffic, 328 Tango Delta, departing the pattern to the west, last call, Cape May. Alright, we're good there. Take a little look at southern New Jersey.
Atlantic City approach, Cirrus November, Tree 28 Golf Echo is type Cirrus SR22, 2 miles west of Kilo Whiskey Whiskey Delta. Request flight following. Cirrus November, Tree 28 Golf Echo, Atlantic City approach. Squawk 0135.
Alright, let's get our autopilot going here.
0135 Cirrus 8 Golf Echo. Autopilot. Cirrus 8 Golf Echo radar contact 3 miles west of Kilo Whiskey Whiskey Delta, 900 feet. Altimeter 29.2.
Be great when these buttons all work. Be so much easier to use the G1000 with the mouse, for sure. Guess we could turn our landing lights off. Bright morning here. Get our pitot heat on. Make sure that pitot doesn't freeze up so we can get our airspeed. Beautiful day on the Delaware Bay. Can actually probably crank up our Going to go to 800 feet per minute. He's got 145 knots, so we should be able to get up there just fine. I mean, there is a difference between scaling at 80% and scaling at 100. When I'm at 100, it's crystal clear. When it's 80, it's a little bit blurry, so it's really the best setting to have, right? By the way, one of the things I didn't put in I just did a review, a 45-day review of the G2, which, you know, for overall is very positive, for sure. The one thing I will tell you is I haven't found a comfortable way to sit it on top of my head when I, you know, right now I've got it on top of my head and I'm looking at, you know, my PC monitor so I can see chat. It tends to slide down, you know. Hey Bill, how you doing? Thanks for joining, man. Difficult to dial in the instruments such as radios, barometers, flight planners, autopilot, etc. when using the VR mouse controller. Oh, you're asking a question. Just order the same HP VR you have. Yeah, it's not difficult. No, I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's certainly not immersive. Like, it's not how you would do it in real life. In real life, you would use your hand, obviously. So a controller is probably better because you're moving your hand in the air. I think the optimal situation will be if we ever have a third-party company that comes up with a glove that allows you, that works with the G2 and allows you just basically to manipulate dials and stuff in the cockpit with the glove. Now, a lot would probably have to happen there. Like the plane would have to be compatible, or, you know, FS 2020 would have to be compatible with the glove, etc. But yeah, the mouse it's definitely usable. It's not difficult. It's just not immersive, you know. Because in real life, you're not going to be sitting in a cockpit with a mouse. You're going to be using your fingers and your hand, right? So it's just not immersive. Alright, so right now I'm running 70%, well 65 to 70% CPU. GPU is at about 90%. And I'm using probably about it looks like 9 gigabytes of VRAM. So I have a feeling when I add the new CPU, pick up 4 more cores, and it's going to be much better, you know, because especially when streaming, you know, on the CPU. So I'll probably get much smoother functionality. I'm hoping to get smoother functionality from the mirror window. But, you know, right now there's, like I said, there's no optimal way to mirror in 2D what you see. Now I could, you know, what you can do is you can show. This is what's Microsoft Flight Simulator. You see, that's much smoother. It's the 2i configuration. And I often wondered, like, if you were wearing a headset and you were looking at this video, if you would actually see this in 3D. I'm not sure. It's a wonderment that I have. Because this is basically showing you 2 separate panels and what's being displayed in each of the panel, right? Probably would be better if this was square and not rounded. If it took up the whole screen. I've actually did experiments years ago when flying in VR using a VR viewer in a cheaper headset, which I can't find now because I want to do some testing. And I was actually posting some content that if you were watching it on YouTube running this viewer software, you'd be able to see it in 3D. That would be pretty cool, right? If I was streaming in 3D and you could see it in 3D, that would be pretty cool. But in any event, this is the Microsoft Flight Simulator preview, or I should say desktop. So they don't really give you a 2D, a single 2D desktop display, if you will. And this is the Windows Mixed Reality preview screen, which is basically looks like it's basically one eye expanded. Okay, to give you like a squared effect, like, you know, but it's not. The Unfortunately, it's not high res. It would be great if they would give you this in 1080p, then you would be able to see it much better. It would look much better, obviously. So, in any event, let's get to our update on the FSEconomy group, our VR Aviation group. If you want to join that, just go to FSEconomy and go to the groups page, and all you got to do is search for VR Aviation, hit the join button, and you can join up. So basically, let's take a look at that. So let's go to banking. We're going to go to VR Aviation monthly statement, and we're going to go last month. Oops, sorry about that. Just want to pop this out so I can read so you can see chat. I'm going to go last month. So you can see we did about $1 million, a little over $1 million in flights, assignment income from our flights. Paid out almost 700,000 in pilots fees, 65%. Ended up netting 183,000 for the group, which is good, you know. So that's not too bad. And as far as the flight operations, I should say FBO operations, we pulled in. Oh, that's this month. Let me go here. Last month we pulled in 88,000 in revenue from our FBO operations, which is really good. It didn't cover expenses. Expenses for the FBO just for supplies is about 100. For what we have is about 170,000. But with this and what we gained in pilots fees, we did cover it, so that's good. All right. Our pilot of the month last month was Cracker, and he won 50,000 in virtual FSE dollars, which I've already paid him out of my own pocket. Go back to last month here. Just to show you how many flights he did. Cracker did 70 flights. Coyote takes himself out of the running for the contest, but Cracker Jack did 70 flights, brought in 330,000 in netting gross income and 247,000 in net. 11,000 flights, but some other great folks here. Full Trotter, 17 flights, brought in a lot of money. Deroji, 10 flights. Everyone who flew, Take 6, thanks for your flights. Everyone who flew, appreciate it. Again, remember the obligation is just one flight per month. I'm not going to be doing the contest anymore because there's really not enough people in it, and Cracker has won it he's won it I think 3 or 4 months in a row, so we're going to hold off on the contest for now. But I do appreciate everyone flying. It's awesome and really much appreciated. Let's see if there's anything else. Take a look at our aircraft for VR Aviation. We lost a few aircraft. We did have a couple of C-130s. Yeah, you're right, Take 6. Cracker has been awesome. He flies like a maniac, and it's much appreciated. We lost a couple of 208s because they were leased to us by Air Dogs, and he decided to take them back. What can you do? We still have Barons, SR-22s, Diamonds, and 172s at each of our hubs. So we've got a nice mix of airplanes that are available for you on FSEconomy, as well as X-Plane. And in FSEconomy, all of these are, in FS 2020, all of these are available planes. If you have the deluxe version, I think SR-22 is a deluxe plane, but the rest are available. We have a Pilatus PC-12, which is currently at Cross Keys, and I leased these two planes to the group for free. And we have a TBM 930 at Cape May as well. So all these planes to fly. You want to join the group. The only rules, major rules of the group. One is fly one time a month. Second is if you're going to use one of our planes, you only use it for a flight where you're flying for the group. Okay, you have to select that you're flying for the group when you're using our planes. All right, and that's really the only stipulation. So that's it for FSEconomy as far as the update. Again, Cracker, thank you, and to everyone who flies, thank you very much for flying for the group. One thing I want to mention, VR Aviators group on Facebook. Just type in VR Aviators, join the group. We've got close to 3,000 people on this group. It's really we've had a lot of members join in the last couple of weeks. People getting Quest 2s and Reverb G2s and lots of questions and which should I buy. You want to know about VR, this is a place to be. And VR as it relates to aviation, this is where a lot of people are going to be there to help you get answers to lots of questions. So make sure you check that out. And also, little known, we do have a VR Aviators Reddit that I set up a while ago. I haven't really I don't post there a lot. I do at times. So, but you know, if you got topics you want to discuss that where you want to have more of a thread to it, this is probably the place to be. Because as you know, Facebook is not the greatest threaded environment, right? This would be, if you want like a more of a lasting thread, like a technical question or a technical discussion, come over here and join and sign up to this subreddit, VR Aviators, and we've got 284 members there, and a great place to chat too. So make sure you check that out. All right. All right. So that's it for that update. Take 6. How's on air going? On air's going. You know, let me see. Where do I go with on air? To be honest with you, I haven't been on air too much, and there's a couple of reasons why. One is the virtual airline functionality is really in its infancy over there. Okay, and it's just too much to manage. Now I haven't checked it in a while, maybe a couple weeks, like 2 weeks, but you know, if I'm going to do something over there, it's going to be, hey Cracker, how you doing? We were just talking about you. You're welcome. You're welcome for the cash. Thanks for all the flights. I'd like to do a VR Aviators or VR Aviation virtual airline on air, and there's a lot of cool bells and whistles to on air. The thing about on air is it's deep. It's very deep, and you know, compared to FSEconomy, where FSEconomy, as you guys know, probably know, is basically grab and go, rent a plane, put people in it, put some gas in it, and fly. Right? On air is more complicated. Like, your pilot isn't that free to go. Like, you know, with FSEconomy, I can fly first, like this flight here, and then after I'm done with this, I could just go to England and fly in England. It doesn't work in on air that way. On air, you have to, if you're playing the Thunder server, which is the real-time server, you actually have to teleport yourself from one airport to the other, and it actually takes real time. Like, for example, you want to teleport from like St. Louis to Florida, it takes like 3 hours, like literally 3 hours. So you have to really plan your time and have a block of time when you're going to want to use on air, because it takes a lot of time to do it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a different environment, and it doesn't always fit in with my schedule, right? So, and you know, they're very stringent. I've asked, you know, they're very stringent on keeping that real-time teleporting, which personally I think is ridiculous, because if everyone was able to teleport quickly, it would level the playing field anyway. And to be honest with you, it's not really, I mean, they try to make it competitive with leaderboards and all that, but the leaderboards, people at top of the leaderboards have like hundreds of millions of dollars, so it's almost like there's no incentive to really be competitive. Really, you know, what I'd like to be able to do on there is to have a virtual airline that we operate. We have people that are flying around, make it a social thing, that kind of thing. And there's real restrictions, or there's real gates to doing that effectively. One is job creation, or pulling jobs is like, you have to have, it's almost like having a second job. It's so complicated and it takes so much time that to dispatch jobs for your for your group, you actually have someone has to go out and grab jobs for the group and put them in a pool so that your virtual airline can use them. It's not like FSEconomy where you can take any flight and fly it for the group. So I understand that On Air is a little bit more real life, but in real life you would actually have AI software that would manage your dispatching, right? You wouldn't have to do it manually and search through lists and lists and lists of jobs to create round trip stuff. So anyway, in a nutshell, I know it sounds like I'm slamming On Air. I'm not trying to slam it. I think it's a cool thing, but it's a cool thing for someone who has, especially in Thunder, that has a lot of time on your hands. If you want to go on Cumulus, it's a little better. There's still some time restrictions, and there's still the same cumbersomeness in finding jobs. There's a lot of fees you got to keep track of. Like FBO management and ownership is really complicated. It's a lot. There's a lot to it. So if you're looking for an environment where you want a big, deep dive, lots of stuff to manage, lots of stuff to think about, then it's for you. But if you want to grab and go economy system, then you're looking more at something like FSEconomy. Wow, look at that. Nice smooth flight, very smooth flight. All right, we got 73. Oh, we knocked off a lot of time. 73 miles. We're flying at 150. We are burning 23 gallons per minute, so I'm actually going to throttle back a little bit. I mean, we got plenty of gas, so I'm not really too worried about it. One thing about this plane is it doesn't have the SR22 engine monitoring screen. It would be really nice if they add that to it. But look at that. Wow, that looks so real. So anyway, that's my discussion on Air. Diesel, how you doing? Diesel, the creator of this. What a great job you did on it. It's awesome. Works with FSEconomy. I'm sorry it took me so long to use it, but it's awesome. You did a great job. It's excellent. Thank you again for doing this, man. I appreciate it. There are liveries available. What I can do is, Diesel, if you want to email, if you don't mind, if you want to email me links, like, you know, links you're comfortable with to your liveries. I know you did one for the, did one for this plane, and you did one for the TBM, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, we could put them on Discord. Or Diesel, if you want to post them on Discord, I can make a separate channel on there. The DA 62. Let me do this right now while we're flying here. I'll just pull up Discord. All right, let me get my stuff together here. So under FSEconomy, no, where do we want to do this? Where do I want to put this? I'm going to make a channel for you to post them. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta make a separate thing here, though. Hold on a second. Just trying to think of a good place to put it. Yeah, this will be flight sim specific. Yes, liveries are always going to be flight sim specific. So let me make a new channel under the main channel. It's going to be MS Flight Simulator liveries. Okay, create the channel. All right, so you'll see it on there. It's MSFS liveries. Okay. And you can just post a link in there. Okay? Or actually, yeah, you can just post a link in there. I'd appreciate it, Diesel. Post whatever, you know, the 2 links in there. Okay? Cool. Yeah, we have liveries for X-Plane, on our VR Aviation page. If you look at, here, I'll just post that here. If you're looking for X-Plane liveries, you can go here. These are all X-Plane liveries, okay? And I can put the liveries for flights for FS 2020 on there as well. I just, you know, got to get the time to do it. Yeah, so big event today for my family. My wife, who works in a hospital, is getting the she's getting the COVID vaccination today, the first one. So she's getting the Pfizer vaccination, the first one. So her coworker just got it. Just got a text. Her coworker just got it and didn't have any reactions or any problems. So. Keeping my fingers crossed and saying a little prayer that my wife doesn't have any issues today getting that. So I know it's been rare, but you know, you always think about that. Yeah, thanks, Take 6. She's not exactly, she's a back off, she's not really on the front line, but she supports the front line.
Potomac approach on 126.75.
But she's actually looking at a job. She's going to be changing her jobs, hopefully, and she's going to be more on the front line, so she's a brave soul.
Cirrus November 328 Golf, Echo Potomac approach, continue to ski as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
All right, so let's see, what do we got? 21 minutes to our waypoint. We're at 4,000 feet. I want to say the airport is probably about 1,200 feet, something like that. Oh, your daughter works in OR, okay. And she didn't have any issues, hopefully? I'm sure you would have said if she did, but please tell her I said thanks for her service. Not a zombie. Yeah. So Diesel, if you're still there, how long did it take you to do that livery? Just curious. And have you found any shortcuts? Because I know when I first looked at it, like in September, it was like pretty cumbersome. I'm like, all right, I don't have time to do this. Because I actually did some livery creation in X-Plane. Oh, both links are up. Awesome. All right, so guys, join the Discord, and you guys will be able to using Blender. Okay. Nice. Great. Thank you for posting those, man, and thank you for doing that. That's awesome. But how long did, like, for example, how long did it take you to do the SR22 livery? You guys want to join the? If you guys want to join the Discord server, just look in the description below. There's a link to it. You can join my Discord server, and lots of stuff on there. But if you want these liveries for, I really like the what you did for the DA 62. It's pretty awesome. So you know the next one that I'd love to see you do. The 930, man. If you could do a 930, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, thank you, Diesel. We all appreciate your hard work. Oh, I think I just figured something out of how I can rest this on my head. 8 hours. Wow. Well, thanks, dude. That's awesome. 8 hours for one livery? Wow. I guess that makes sense, because I remember I did one for the I did the B1900D. It all depends on how much, how detailed it is, but I did a VR Aviation one for the B1900D and X-Plane, and that probably took me about 5 or 6 hours. So yeah, it takes time to get everything lined up and test and make sure, things look good, and it just takes time, Tell you one thing I have to figure out is how to get chat in the cockpit. What's the speed of the SR22? Let's see. Right now we're flying 147 knots approximately. We got 16 minutes to go. We're 44 miles out from our waypoint. We're flying, I'm flying at like 3/4 throttle here. I could actually get this thing up to about 160 knots. I want to fly. We don't have any wind with us, right? So we're just flying over farmland out there. A lot of farmland. Pennsylvania farmland. Guess that's the Schuylkill River there. I don't really know. Maybe it's the Susquehanna. Not quite sure. I know we're decently west. So it could be the Susquehanna. So if you guys haven't checked out, I did a review of a 45-day review of the Reverb G2, and I go through the pros and cons, and also some discoveries, especially as it relates to flying in FS 2020. So check that out. I posted that yesterday. It's on the channel. Good information for you if you're looking at the G2 and potentially purchasing it. It's a cost. It's a $600 headset. The big question is it worth it? I believe, coming from a CV1, absolutely, it was absolutely worth it. Removal of the screen door effect alone, and the clarity, tremendous. Tremendous. Now, I know that people are saying they're getting good results with the CB1, but it still has screen door effect. But there's some negative things with the G2 as well, and I go through those in the video. It's only 6 minutes. I try to consolidate things. You know, it's when I do those types of videos.
126.45 Cirrus 8 Golf Echo.
Let's just see our.
Approach Cirrus November Tree 28 Golf Echo 4,000 feet.
Cirrus November Tree 28 Golf Echo approach. Continue to WRSKI as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
When I do those videos, I try to make them really concise, so I actually write out scripts for them. When I do them, I try to make it sound like I'm not reading a script, but I find it over my experience of creating content, it's just better to be less verbose, in my opinion. That's what I look for when I'm watching videos, so I write out a script, I get my words together, at least in bullet form, so that I'm delivering exactly succinct information rather than, you know, rattling on and blabbering on. So check that video out. It's pretty succinct, to the point. In 6 minutes, you'll get a good opinion of my opinion of the G2. So hope you guys will check that out. As soon as you get a new throttle, you'll be back up and flying. What happened to your throttle? Maybe you told me and I forgot, but remind us. What happened to your throttle? Diesel. Any advice on selecting flights for FSE? I'm not sure what my objective should be. Should I be using FSE Flight Planner for group flights? You can use FSE Flight Planner. I use that especially for cargo flights. You know, if you're flying for our group, in our network, everything is pretty much round trip. So if you take one of our planes to one of the FBOs, there'll either always be people to take back, or if you wait a little bit of time, something will be generated that you can take back. So you don't have to worry too much about planning when you're in our FBO network. So we've got Cape May and Roanoke, Virginia, and then, you know, about 12 different FBOs connected to all those. So you don't have to worry too much about that. When it comes to selecting flights, you know, it depends on which plane you're flying. The 930, I think, is a really good choice because it's 7 seats, which is a good amount of people. And you can fly profitable. You want to make sure you always fill the seats. You know, you want to try to make sure you don't overbuy gas, so you keep your flight profitable. And that's pretty much it. The only thing to watch out for is they have this thing called booking fees. Booking fees are if you have more than 5 passengers, or I should say more than 5 assignments, you get charged the booking fee for the whole flight. Now, it's a minimal amount, but it can add up. And that money goes back into the ether of FSEconomy. It doesn't go to any other, you know, any back to the group. So sometimes you can't help it, do booking fees, but if you can do, let's say, for example, in the 930, you want to fill up 7 seats, and you could do it with 5 assignments, you're avoiding booking fees. So that's one thing to look out for. You broke a diesel. So which throttle did you buy? Let me guess. You bought the honeycomb. Is that the one you're waiting for? Are we still going to buy another hub? Yes, the plan is to buy another hub. We don't quite have enough cash to do that yet. We've got about 2.5 million, I think, or 2.3 million. So we don't quite have enough cash to do that yet. We're going to need 6 million, at least 6 million, to buy a hub. And you know, that's going to take us a little bit of time. And then one has to come available within the triangle. I have my eyes on a few that I really would like to get, and if we have enough cash, when we get enough cash, we'll probably take a shot at that. If I've got a tribute, I'm not going to say, Alan, because I don't want anybody else to to start pinging the owners on them. But it's within a triangle of Cape May and Roanoke. It's to the north, okay? But it would form a really nice triangle of three lot FBOs. I got my eye on one, and I really, really, really want to get this one, and it would be perfect, because then we could start building out FBOs from that and have a really nice triangular backbone, if you will. So Take 6, you've been flying between Roanoke and Tazewell. I love that flight. Tazewell is awesome because you fly up into those mountains, but you need enough cargo to justify. Yeah, you're not going to get a lot going to Tazewell because it's a small airport, you know. So those are generally going to be people flights, you know, like GA people flights. The Baron, a 930. Now we don't have a 930 at Roanoke. I don't want to spend the money on a 930. I may buy a 930 myself out of my own money and just lease it and put it in Roanoke. If you guys want to do that, I don't have a problem doing that. I want to save up the money to buy this next hub point. You know, that's what I'm trying to do. By the way, if anybody wants to donate money to the group, to the VR Aviation group, they want to donate FS dollars to help buy the hub, that's always welcome too. But you know, you don't have to do that. Just opening the door for that. Just IM me off the side in Discord or something if you're interested in doing that. You ordered the Airbus bundle. That looks like pretty good. That Airbus bundle looks pretty good, Diesel. I know you like flying the bigger planes. That looks pretty good. Harrisburg is nice, but that's not the one. Harrisburg's nice, but that's not the one. Anyway, so I do have plans to expand VR Aviation in FSEconomy. Just got to get the cash to do it. You know, right now we had a really big uptick. Let me just make sure do I have to get down here? All right, yeah, we should probably lower ourselves here because we have some really cool visuals. I'm going to get to
Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo Harrisburg approach. Continue to WRSKI as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
All right, we're going to go down to 3,000. Well, yeah, what I was saying was we had a really nice uptick in activity in the VR Aviation group and FSEconomy right around, you know, for the 2 months after FS 2020 was released. But a lot of that has kind of died down, and now it's down to like 4 or 5 or maybe 6 really active pilots. We need to get more pilots flying. Maybe that's partially my fault. If I did more streams like this about FSEconomy, maybe we could build up some more pilots. But you know, in order to I'll get these. Let me finish my talking here. All right. In order to expand it, we need more cash. In order to get more cash, we need to fly. You need to fly more flights, and I want to. Or we need to build up more cash, right? So I don't want to reduce the pilot fees because I think it's only fair that, you know, you guys make your own personal money. But this is one of the reasons why I'm gonna hold off on the contest too, Cracker. Sorry about that. It's because I really want to get to the point where we have enough cash to buy another hub, and I don't want to borrow money in an FSEconomy to do that. I don't want to have that bill to pay because you never want to do that. My philosophy is you don't borrow money to buy FBOs because FBOs are tough to make money on. Okay, you have to have activity, and right now we've got a very decent amount of activity. It was a lot better, and we were making lots of money on the FBOs, but that's died down. So now we're kind of relying on pilot activity to build things up. So if you guys want to fly more, the more we fly, the more money we'll have, and then we can expand. But I have to have the cash in hand, and I need 6 or 7 million. Well, I need 7. We need 7 million in the bank, so I can have 6 to offer, and because we always want to keep at least $1 million in the bank in case we need it. Now I have my own personal money in FSC that if I've got to loan money to the group, I can always do that, right? That I've built up over time. But you know, I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep the group solvent and keep it growing. So the more we fly, the more money we make, the more we can expand it, and I really would like to expand it. Coming down to 3,000. Now if we look over to the right down here, that's some sort of small ski resort. And you can see, when you're an X-plane flying, you can see that as well. But it looks much cooler in FS 2020. I know I have my head out the window. Right now I'd probably have killed myself, but I'm just trying to give you guys a better view here. So there's that. You can see the ski, the ski trails there. Pretty cool. Alright, we could probably come down to 25. Hey Hannah, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. In small text and numbers in the cockpit with a G2 and lower render scale readable. Yes, they're readable. It's much better when you're at 100. Right now I'm at 80 because I'm streaming, as I mentioned when I started. But when you're at 100 rendering and 50 in OpenXR, yes, you can sit back in what would be your seat and you can look forward and you can read everything. That's for sure. T says, just now looking into FSEconomy for beginners. Looks like fun. We'll be back with when new i9 PC gets here. All right, awesome. That's great. We can make. Are you a member of the group already? If not, please join, and I'll make sure you're in there, T. Okay. Can you start a tracker for building a new FBO? Yeah. I mean, I guess I can. Oh, I see what you're saying. You to fly the cargo to build an FBO? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to actually be doing that. I'm going to be buying one that's existing. So we're not going to be building one. I have to. All the 3 lot FBOs are owned, right? They're all owned. So what I have done, when I bought the original one we have, Cape May, a gentleman was kind enough after me emailing him to sell it to me, to sell it to the group, and we paid a really good price for it. I think it was like $4 million. He was very kind. He was an FSC guy for a long time, and he helped us get started. Roanoke, we paid $6 million or $6.5 million for. That was bought privately. A guy was selling it, and along with a bunch of FBOs. So what I'm looking for is I'm going to have to find this one particular FBO that I want. I'm going to have to convince them to sell it to us, if you will. Hey, T, what is your name on FSEconomy, just so I know? All right, where's my airport? This one's a little hard to find sometimes. There it is. Now, I have to tell you right now, in X-Plane 11, I would never have been able to see that runway without zooming. Carlisle traffic 328 Tango Delta on final for runway 28, full stop, Carlisle. All right. Yeah, I mean, I will tell you that
November
since
9
that...
report traffic Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo is on final runway 28 to land.
Didn't I just say that? I said Tango Delta, but we're Golf Echo. I'm just so used to Tango Delta, that's my... I will say that it seems like the flight dynamics have improved since that December 23rd update in this plane and a number of planes, actually. I'm not sure whether it's because... I should say, maybe it's a combination of the fact that I'm not flying in 2D anymore. I'm now flying in VR, which makes it much easier to control the plane, as those of you who fly in VR know. And God, as you get close to this airport, the trees just look amazing. They just look amazing. All right, we're going to lower our speed here. We got trimmed, beautifully trimmed, and we're coming in here a little bit left to center here. We're going to straighten our ass out. 78 over the fence. Flare, throttle back, let her just energy deplete, and we are down. Alright, now we'll have to empty our passengers. We're going to make them walk. If you guys want to join me, I'm on the East US server at N94. We're going to be taking off out of there. If you guys want to join me for the flight back to Cape May. Happy to have you guys along. I'm just going to do a UE here. I mean, I tell you, there's times when I like forget that I'm actually not really in a real plane. Like it doesn't. Let me put it this way. It's I'm gonna go on the grass a little bit here probably. It doesn't. It's like not. There's like seconds, like for like 10 seconds, I'll forget that I'm not in a simulator. I'm in a simulator. You know what I mean? It's really strange. VR is wonderful. All right, parking brake is set. Yeah, thank you. That was a good landing. All right, we just finished our flight. Yeah, well, I mean, we really don't need I don't think we need a dedicated fun take 6. I'm just not going to spend money for the group. Like, for example, if you look at, let me just show you what I mean. So if I go to the FSEconomy here. All right, so let's go to bank, right? So here's VR Aviation. We got 2.5 million, okay, in the bank, and we have 380,000. This money is always used for supplying, okay? So for example, like if we look at VR Aviation Management, VR Aviation East Management, which is all our FBOs, right? Right now we're down to 35 days of supplies in all the FBOs, okay? So that means that pretty soon I'm going to have to resupply. Now, to do this for all our FBOs, it's about 167,000. Call it 170,000 for 30 days, okay? I like to buy 60 days at a time so I don't have to do it every month, all right? So right now we have enough to do 60 days. So probably sometime next week I'm going to add 60 days. But in addition to that, we have to keep up fuel. Right now we're pretty good on fuel for both 100 LL and Jet A. But the main thing is we've got to keep up supplies, because every day it uses like for example, every day Cape May uses 90 kilos of supplies, right? So and I actually have a spreadsheet set up to figure out how much it's going to cost and all that. So, like I said, that's what, if you look at banking, that's what this money's for, okay? This money, this is VR Aviation money, this 2.6, this is where we would use to buy the new FBO, okay? So we want to get this up to about 7 million to do that. This money is basically mine, right? So this is money that I've made over the time. I've got my own group here that I have my own aircraft that I own, okay? I own all these aircraft. 2 of them I lease to the group. I'm probably going to take one of these 930s and fly it to Roanoke and lease that to the group as well, all right? Maybe the one from Atlanta, so that we have another plane in Roanoke. But, yeah, so I just recently bought this Citation, which if you want to fly a CJ4, it's at LaGuardia for $9.50 an hour. You can fly it. You can fly it. But in any event, so this is the number. This is basically our dedicated fund right there. All right. Hopefully that explains things. You're a patron at Bambino Tech only. Well, I appreciate your patronage. Thank you, man. Yeah, it takes 6. You don't have to. It used to be you had to fly supplies in. They changed that, and now now you basically just buy supplies right at the FBO. So it just saves you a lot of time. All right, so I have to set my GPS, the GPS one, back to where we're going, back to Cape May, and make sure we check out. We set up Uhuzu. So let's go over here and let's go to menu, flight plan, menu. Why doesn't menu work? Okay. Menu. What? See, this is the problems I have here. Okay, so now I can't open the menu up, and I can't change the flight plan. I can't delete the flight plan. Let me just see if I could do this. So can I go? Oh, there we go. All right, so now we're going to go cursor. And we're going to go N94, beautiful. And then we're going to go UZ, where's that? I got to get in here so I can read this. This text is really small. UH U Z U. Why is that? Oh, LU, sorry, duh. Sorry. Back to this. There we go. And then we're going to go K. W. All right, Cape May. Beautiful. All right, so we got our flight plan in. All right, so let's go to back up to 4,000. We're gonna go nav. Vertical speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 800 feet per minute, and that's pretty much it. Oh, we never changed our tank. So we should probably change the tank. That was a mistake. Forgot about the tanks. That's one thing you got to remember on this plane is that the tanks aren't automatic. All right, so let's get our FSEconomy going here. Start the flight. Make sure that's okay. All right, we're good there. If you look at VR aviation assignments, you only see ones in Poland. I'm not sure why. You can fly any assignment anywhere in the world and fly it for the group. You do know that, right? So that's easy. No, T, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, what is you're part of the VR aviation on FSEconomy, right? That's what I was asking. What is your handle on FSEconomy is what I was asking. So take 6. So you can fly anywhere in the world and fly that flight for the group. Conrad, how you doing? You have a toggle switch set up for those times I need to focus on instruments for extended periods of time. Okay. You mean like a zoom? Because I know, basically you can, I have it set up so I can right click. I can right click in and zoom in, but the problem is it doesn't stay, okay? And I can't, if I'm right clicking, I can't use, I guess I could use the flight plan. That's probably what I should do. I should probably zoom in, like I should bring up the flight plan like this. Just get used to doing this like with my finger on the right key. That's probably what I should start doing. So basically zoom in like that so you could read it, and then, because now I could easily read it. Alright, so let's see, we can get on the road here. Flight plan is in, FSEconomy is activated, we've got enough fuel. We're going to go flaps to takeoff. We're going to go mixture to full. And we're going to go brake off. Parking brake off. I got the brakes set. We're going to throttle up. God, I do not miss flying in 2D in this simulator. It's so great that VR. Oh, there's somebody. Who's that? Who's flying with me? I forgot to put the tags on. Sorry, dude. I didn't wait for you. I should have waited. Now we're going to fly over this way. And I didn't talk to traffic. Carlisle traffic 328 Tango Delta departing the pattern to the southeast, climbing to 4,000. Last call, Carlisle. Alright, let's get our autopilot on.
Engaging autopilot.
Scenery looks so cool. It's this little thing, the reason why it looks so cool is that there's a lack of repetition, right? You think about when you get to design scenery, it's all about lack of repetition. That's what makes it look real.
Golf Echo is type Cirrus SR22, 2 miles southeast of November 904. Request flight following.
All right, so we're climbing nicely at 800 feet per minute.
Squawk 1215 Cirrus 8 Golf Echo.
So just so you guys know, I have...
Golf Echo radar contact 3 miles southeast of November 9er for 1,500 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
Copy Cirrus 8 Golf Echo.
Just so you guys know, I have written and done the voiceover already for a 10 tips for being profitable in FSEconomy. I've been trying to get to it for the last like 3 weeks, and just have other stuff get in the way. It's going to be hopefully the next video I do. It's all written. I just have to edit the video. And when you watch that, if you're new to FSEconomy, it's going to really help you get started and avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made over the last 4 years of flying in FSEconomy, or whatever it is, for at least 4 years. So yeah, look for that soon. Now, why is my altitude only at 400 feet? Oh, because somehow my barometer got messed up. How did that happen? Should be 2992. That's happened to me before, like it just changes. This is the second time now that I've had to do this. And of course it messes everything up, right? Alright, so now we should be okay. I mean, I didn't change that. I don't remember changing that knowingly. Let's just see if we level off at 4,000. Hopefully we will. Seems like we're at 4,000. So I have to tell you, my son, who's a gamer, I've talked about him before. A couple days ago, I said, have you checked out... He hasn't checked this out yet. I said, so here, put this headset on, the new head, the G2. Let's fly out of the airport that's near our house, and I'm going to fly over your high school. So he just had the headset on. He was watching as I flew over the high school. He was blown away. He's like, oh my God. He goes, that looks exactly like it. He's like, that's where I used to park my car. See, this is what we're doing here. Why are we going past 4,000 altitude? See, it thinks at 2,400, so the barometer's all screwed up. This has happened before. The barometric pressure is screwed up. I'm at 2,992, but it thinks it thinks it's 2,400 feet, and that's much higher than 2,400 feet. Much higher. So, I don't know. It's screwed up. Let's see. Oh, sorry, Air Canada. I just flew out of N94 Carlisle. Oh, the toggle holds the zoom. There you go. That's a good idea. I got to figure out how to do that, Conrad. That's a good suggestion. Take 6. Should I focus on VRA airports to find assignments? I mean, you can. But you can, like I said, you can fly anywhere in the world, and as long as you select fly for VR Aviation, the group gets money for that. Okay? Going back to Pancake in August was really hard. Pancake, yeah. 2D, it's awful. Reprising background of the Flintstones. What? Okay. Diesel. I think there's a bug in the SR22, the default barometer. Yeah, it happened before in the SR22. Hit B on the keyboard to reset the barometer. Oh, let's see if that works. B. Okay, so now we're going down. To 2400. Which is fine. We could fly at 2400. We just took a nosedive down. We're flying at 200 knots in the SR22. Hope we don't ruin it. Hope we don't kill the plane. So we hit B, and it just basically decided to go down as fast as it could to 2,400 feet. That's fine. We could fly at 2,400. Although we can't see as much. So let me, you know what? Let me just. Or now we'll go back up to 4,000. Okay. Well, thanks for that tip. FS Madness Pilot, how you doing? What are my settings in VR for VR? All right, so here I'm gonna go through it again. OpenXR. The app OpenXR set at 50% rendering and disabled reprojection. Okay. Windows Mixed Reality is set at full resolution high. Okay. And in FS 2020, I'm basically using around like medium settings, and I've got rendering set to 100. Now for the stream, I've got it at 80, but normally it's set to 100. Okay. And then depending on your GPU, there is a great post, okay? Hold on, let me find it. Put it in the chat, okay? Go check this out. All right, and let's see. Let me go to Chrome. All right, so we're gonna go through this a little bit. So VR bang for the buck performance guide. This dude, as MIDI, great job that he did. Okay, he basically goes through every single settings. His specs are a little bit lower. Okay. He's using a what did he use? He's using a 1080. Okay, I'm using a 1080 Ti. But he goes through each one of these settings and what effect it has on VR from a percentage of FPS loss perspective. So what I would do is, depending on your GPU, you start with rendering at 100, get rid of clouds. Maybe you can do them in low or medium depending on what your GPU is. Ambient inclusion, you want to use this to find the optimum settings. And these things that are less than 1%, I have most of these cranked up because they don't have much effect on FPS, right? So there's two things to think about: FPS and frame time. FPS, people get stuck on FPS. As long as you're 30 FPS, you're fine. You don't need to in the flight simulator, you don't need to be any more than 30 FPS. Okay? It's frame time, which is frame consistency, that's the most important thing. That gives you the smoothness. But in any event, you go through this, read this post, and use this as your guide. All right? Hopefully that's helpful. So is it okay to fly anywhere, anytime? Yes, absolutely. No, you could fly. Okay, so there's two things. Let me explain. There's two ways Take 6, just so there's no confusion. Yes, you can fly for VR Aviation in our network using our planes. You're welcome, FS Madness. And that's great, because when you do that, we get the money from the flight, plus if you're landing at our FBOs, we're getting all those flight crew fees, and if you're using gas, we're making money on the gas. So it's always more profitable for the airline, for our airline, if you're flying within the hub, okay? And again, only use our planes for flying our assignments in our area, right? So always be flying for the group there. However, if you want to fly in England, all you do is, let me just see if I can. When you set up a flight, you go into My Flight, and you'll see a selection. Fly for VR Aviation. Just select Fly for VR Aviation, and any flight that you fly will fly for the group. Now, please make sure that it's a full flight, so it's profitable, all right? Because the group pays for your rental fee and your gas and all that when you fly for the group, even if it's outside of our network. Hopefully I explained that well enough. If not, let me know if you have any questions about it. Yeah, you can. We do have a Discord. Just look in the description. Let me see if it's right here. Here's our Discord. My Discord, I should say my Discord.
Sierra 8 Golf, Echo contact approach on 126.45.
Going to 126.
So Take 6, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense, how I explained that.
Approach Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo 4,000 feet.
Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo approach. Continue to Omaha as planned. Altimeter 29.
Yeah, no problem. In fact, what I'll do is when we finish this flight, I'll show you exactly what I mean, all right? Yeah, that's the thing. You should always be doing that. In fact, if you're not doing that, then you're not flying for the group. If you're not selecting Fly for VR Aviation, then you're not flying for the group. You're flying for yourself, which is, it's up to you, but I don't, but if you're using one of our planes, you gotta fly for the group. I wish there was a way in FSEconomy where it forced you to use a group, to fly for the group if you're using a group plane. That's one thing that they should add in, but they never will, so they never change it. Or I should say they very rarely change it.
Sierra 8 Golf Echo contact Potomac approach on 126.75.
126.75 Cirrus 8 Golf Echo. Potomac approach Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo 4,000 feet.
Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo Potomac approach. Continue to Hilo as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
So the other thing I'm hoping for soon, now I'm not going to buy this for the group, but I'm hoping that I check this every once in a while just to see if they have added no, they haven't, the citation legend, longitude. They added the CJ4, but they don't have the longitude yet, unfortunately. That's too bad. So here's our, this is Cape May. We own this group. We own this what do you call it? FBO, and we have pretty much all of these, except we don't own this one, but pretty much all of these we own. Okay, we don't own this one. For some reason, this guy has always had us connected. So you want to fly to West Virginia, you can. This is a cool place to fly. PA-49. It's up by Lake Wallenpaupack. It's a nice flight to take like an SR-22 or the Baron up there. Here's one thing I want to ask you guys to do. N85, one of my favorite airports. Okay, Alexandria, Pittstown. This airport is not in FS 2020. If you guys could all please message or whatever, I forget, I don't know where you do this, maybe send a message to development at Asobo or whatever and ask them to add this airport. We need this airport. It's a great airport. It's still functioning, and unfortunately it's not an FS 2020. It is an FSX and it is an X-plane, but it's not in FS 2020, and I really love flying to this plane. In fact, this airport. In fact, what I normally do is I'll fly to N40, which is Sky Manor. It's a great airport, and this airport together, and I'll load people up and just because these two are like a couple miles away from each other. So you can load up, bring a lot of people up and a lot of people back. So that's one I always do. Yeah, so any event. Let's all ask, I already sent them a note, but let's all ask them to add N85 Alexandria in Pittstown, New Jersey to FS 2020. Because Microsoft Flight Simulator does not have that on their world map, unfortunately. FS Madness Pilot says, just got the Vive Cosmos Elite as my first VR headset, but I feel VR is not quality. Image it would be, but yeah, the immersive. But I want to hear your thoughts on the G2 experience. Yeah, so you can add the airport and create it N95 in my notes. N85 is there? Oh, they upgraded the database. All right, cool. We'll check that. Excellent. That's great. That's awesome. All right, so as far as my experience with the G2, so here's what I want to do. I want to show you. I'm going to give you a link to a video, and in 6 minutes, you'll get my complete assessment of my. Because I just posted a review like literally yesterday. I'm happy to. We'll talk about it a little bit, but for more detail and a more concise review, check out this video right there. Okay. So I will tell you that I think the G2 is amazing. I'm coming from a Oculus CV1. The G2 is excellent. It's the best headset I've ever used. For obvious reasons. The clarity's great. Screen door effect is gone. For sitting games like flight simulation, if you've got the GPU for it, it's great. Okay, you want to have a 1080 Ti at least. This is what I have. Okay, I think anything below that is going to be difficult. The many pros. Screen door effect's gone. The visuals are great. It was pretty easy to install. There's other pros. I outline all of them in the video. Cons, I'm not wild about the controllers, although you don't use the controllers in FS 2020 yet, you will soon. They're okay. They're kind of cheaply made. I'm used to the touch controllers, which were amazing. I think HP would have done themselves better if they used the touch controllers as their reference, but they are what they are. The only major problem I have with it in flight simulation is that at nighttime flying, because of the LCD panels on the G3, you don't get a lot of grayscale, so when you look at dark areas, they're just like this gray fog that you can't see through. Like, for example, if you look down at low-lit areas like the floor of the cockpit, or if you're flying at like the elevation we're at now, you look down at the roadway, you'll see lights, but you won't see faint images of the planes because they'll be gray. So nighttime flying, at least I haven't found a setting to make that better. So that's one issue I have with it. There's a couple others. Check out the video, it goes into detail. But overall, it's an amazing headset for flight simulation. Hey Sar, how you doing? So, are there any communication requirements when flying in FSEconomy? No. No communication requirements. If you want to, you could use like Pilot Edge, or you can use ATC and FSEconomy to do your normal communications, but FSEconomy doesn't care about any of that. All it cares about is generating jobs from one FBO to the other. FSEconomy, think of it as like a career mode almost. It gives you a reason to fly, right? Yeah, it's cool to fly to all the cool places in FS 2020, but FSEconomy allows you to fly assignments and earn money for flying those assignments, and then you can use that money, virtual money, you can use that virtual money to buy aircraft, buy FBOs, rent other aircraft, etc. Now, if you're flying for a group, you don't have to worry about cost of renting. Use Pilot to ATC and ATC chatter. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I looked into that. Maybe I didn't give it a good enough look. I think Take 6, you're actually the one that suggested it. You know, I was a Pilot Edge person, and Pilot Edge kind of spoiled me because you're talking to real people, you know. And there's this one post-con that I'm looking at. And I'm may go to that, but we'll see. You know, we'll see. Sar said I wrote Mission X plugin for X-Plane to have a reason to fly. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, hey Sar, check out FSEconomy. I'm not sure what their waiting list to join. I know they had a waiting list at one point because there was such an influx that may have calmed down, but sign up for that and then sign up for our group. Look in the groups, list all the groups, look for VR Aviation and sign up and we'll get you flying for the group. You're also taking VET sim courses as well. POSCON? POSCON client.
Cirrus 8 Golf Echo contact Philadelphia approach on 118.35.
POSCON.net? No?
Going to 118.35 Cirrus 8 Golf Echo.
I think you have to join and they have to email you, client. I think it's because it's still in kind of like beta, and they never emailed me, so POSCON is here.
Altimeter 29.902.
Yeah, I think POSCON is X-Plane 11 only, right? Exactly. Pilot Edge is FS 2022, but Pilot Edge is limited on the East Coast, which is where I fly mostly, so I really enjoyed it, but I like flying in the East Coast, especially now with FS 2020 because the graphics are so amazing. But, in the East Coast, so anyway. I'm kind of like one of those people that's less worried about ATC because, when I'm streaming, I've got to focus on that. So, and most of my streams are like this, where it's interactive and we're talking about stuff. So, I kind of like, it's actually a blessing to let the AI handle all the ATC stuff in FSEconomy. I know it's not realistic. I'm sorry, in FS 2020. I know it's not realistic, but it is what it is. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like button and also the notification button, so you'll get notified when I'm streaming or when I post a new video, which is usually about once a week. Usually about once a week. So I was thinking after this flight, I'd like to try out the CJ4. I want to see, because in the last update they said they fixed a few things, and I want to see if they fixed the clock on the PFD, because the clock on the PFD didn't move, didn't work, and there was no indication of time to destination as well. So I'm hoping they fix that. So maybe we'll do a quick little flight with the CJ4. Let's see if we can find one here. So if we go to aircraft, this is the one I own. I'll fly the one that I own. It's at LaGuardia. How many people in this plane? I think it's 11? 10. 10 people in this plane. So let's go to see if we can find a nice flight at out of LaGuardia. Fly with 10 people to someplace that's cool. Schenectady? Nah. Let's see, where's this? Orange Municipal. Not enough people. Bedford, Mass. Definitely enough people. So let's go 2, 4, 5. And then we're going to go these two here, because this way we have 10 people. We keep under. We're at 5 assignments, which means we're not going to pay booking fees. Because what happens if I went to the 6th, then this whole thing is subject to booking fees. And we want to try to avoid those if we can. Right? All right, so we're going to do that. We'll fly to Bedford, Mass. 154 miles. Should be cool. And we'll plan that out. Let me just get this one loaded up. And then what I'll show you how to fly that for the group. I'm going to add that to my flight. So let's go to here. So it'll be sitting right up here. And then we'll go to the, I'll show you how to fly for group and all that. Make sure that's clear to everybody. All right, so let's finish this flight first, and then we'll do the CJ4 flight. Hey, let's see. My email is right there, without the comma. If you can send me the invite to POSCON, that'd be awesome. Status on air app. I mean, it seems to be okay. I mentioned before in the beginning of the stream, like I haven't been on there a lot. I'm waiting for them to make some improvements to the virtual airline, which is really what I'm interested on there. You know, as I mentioned before, it's a very detailed economy world, and you have to have a lot of time to do it. Thanks, Take 6. I appreciate that. I tend to lead towards FSEconomy, which is grab and go, and you know, because to me it's more about the flying, but I want to feel like I'm doing something. I found with On Air, you spend a lot of time in their app, like figuring out, like I spend so much time finding round trip jobs. It's almost impossible to find a round trip job, you know, with your plane, because you want to get back to your own FBO, right? That's kind of like how I'm conditioned. Anyway, so they're improving it over time, but I haven't been on there a lot, put it that way. So Cracker says, is that plane, let's see, is that the plane that lands well on one engine? Oh, you mean the CJ4? I'm not sure. Oh, ATS. Oh, so speaking of American Truck Simulator, so you drove it all December because it was my fault. Okay, because you wanted to do it in VR. So the other day, I didn't feel like hooking up my wheel and pedals and all that, but I said, oh, let me just try out American Truck Simulator with the G2. So I got it to work, and I don't even think I had it dialed in. Oh my God, it looks amazing with the G2. So I'm planning on doing a resurgence of content in American Truck Simulator in the G2, because I remember way back with the CV1 years ago, I did it with that, and it wasn't very good. Shaky and jaggedy, wasn't very good. The G2, ooh, it's amazing. Like, you look down, you can read everything on the dashboard, and ahead of you, you can see things easily. So, I got it on the plan. I have it on the plan to dive more into American Truck Simulator VR content. So Deal says, we need to get another FBO set up and on air. They have some features that I would... Oh, okay. Maybe we could chat on Discord about it, Diesel, what you want to do there. We have the money to do that, so let's chat on Discord about doing that, all right? Just send me a private message. Let me know what you want to do. Yeah, so I got it on my list, guys. I know there's a couple people here, and I have a lot of people that subscribe to my channel that are ATS fans. So, I want to make the time to do that, all right? I got a lot to do. I got to upgrade my PC because I finally got I'm not sure I talked about that. I finally figured out the Windows problem I had. I hadn't been able to upgrade Windows for quite some time to the 20H2 version. I did a video on this. Months I couldn't update it. Finally, I figured out that it's this Connextant audio driver that my Sennheiser, actually my son's Sennheiser headphones use. I uninstalled that, and boom, the update worked. So it's basically this, and my understanding is that this Connextant company went out of business like in 2014, and Sennheiser's still using that driver. I emailed them, finally got to the people that are supporting this, EPOS, and they said, oh, it's a Windows issue. Well, okay, why are you using an old driver? But in any event, I kind of like, I don't have the time to deal with it. It's working now. I upgraded Windows. So now that I did that, I can upgrade my hardware. So I've got the i7-10700K ready to go. I got the new cooler ready to go. I got the motherboard. I bought the Gigabyte Vision D motherboard, which is basically a combination gaming creator motherboard. It's really perfect for me. You can overclock it if I want to, but it's a perfect combination for me because it's got Thunderbolt and a lot of USB 3.2 connectivity and stuff. It's looks like a really good board. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And my son and I had planned to do that upgrade this weekend. We're going to see about that because I got some other stuff I've got to do. But in any event, in the next couple of days, I'm going to be doing that upgrade and moving on to a new platform, hopefully successfully. But and then after that, that's when I'll be doing American Truck Simulator. But I definitely want to try that out. So you said the new computer with the CV1 is much smoother. Good.
For Cirrus 8 Golf Echo.
Remind me what you upgraded to.
Dover approach Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo 4,000 feet.
Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo Dover approach. Continue to Omaha as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
Skid Mark, remind me what you upgraded to. I can't remember. All right, we got 26 miles. We're just about to cross the bay. If we look over there, there's Dover. We saw that on our flight plan that we're going to be passing Dover. There's Dover Airport. That's Route 1 right there. It takes you down to the beach. Been down that road many times. My son actually lives in Delaware. But he lives further north of Dover. But if you go down there, you go down to like Rehoboth and all those beaches, the beautiful Delaware beaches. Lewis, which is a really beautiful town right next to the ferry that goes over to Cape May. But that's Dover Air Force Base right there. Pretty big complex. There's New Jersey right over there. Well, actually, no, that's not. That might be Pennsylvania. That's actually Pennsylvania, yeah. Pretty sure. So we're going to be... No, that's New Jersey. If we look at our 11 o'clock is the tip of New Jersey down there, our 10 o'clock, and that's where we're going to be... That's where we're going to be flying to, so down to Cape May. That looks so real, man. So I always look at like where the graphics hit the wing, and look how smooth that is. I'll just try to hold my head still here. Look how that frame time is so smooth. That's what you want. See that? That is realistic. You know, in X-Plane you get a lot of jerkiness. I gotta tell you, these guys implemented VR. They did a really nice job. They really did a nice job. You look out the side windows and it is absolutely smooth. And that smoothness is what gives you the realism. Look at that. It's awesome. Seems to always be smooth heading forward, but when you look out the left, there's a lot more, you know, detail that has to be drawn, right? When you turn your head. Super smooth. Super smooth. Got the Ryzen 380 and the 380. Oh, you got a 380. Okay. That's a nice system, man. I'm sure it's running great. So now you got to upgrade to the G2, the Reverb G2, because once you get it dialed in, dude, you're going to be blown away. And here's the thing. I piece-parted my CV1. I sold the CV1 cable. I sold 2 sensors. I sold the touch controllers. All of that for like around like $350 for like $350 around there. I kept the headset. I still have the headset, and I still have 1 sensor because I had 3 sensor system. So you could sell off all your CV1 piece parts and pretty much pay for like 60-70% of a G2. So just from financially, it's, you know, it's worth the upgrade. People want the parts for the CV1 because it's still, people are still using it, you know. The cable, I got $100 for the cable. I got $50 for each sensor, and I got like $120 for the touch controllers. So that was like $320 right there. Yes, $320, and then I still have a sensor to sell, so that'll be $370. And if I sell the headset, I'll probably get about $60-70 for that. So that would have been $420. Let's call it $425. The G2 is $600, so it's going to cost you $175 to upgrade after you sell off your parts. A no-brainer in my mind. Oh, it's now available in the HP store. Interesting. Yeah, they're probably, the supplies, it's in the forecast. Good. Yeah, you'll be amazed, man. It's definitely worth the upgrade. It's definitely worth the upgrade. All right, we're going to get our altitude down here now because we're going to be landing at Cape May. We'll come down to 2K. Ships in one day, really? That's good. So that means all the pre-orders are filled. That's good. Yeah, I'm getting like tons of views on the videos that I'm doing for the G2. So a lot of people are going to be getting it for flight simulation. It's good to see.
124.6 Cirrus 8 Golf Echo. Atlantic City approach Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo 3,600 feet.
Oh, I should watch my tanks. Tanks are good there. We could stay on the right tank. So I saw some posts, someone was asking about smoothness of the G1000. You can see how smooth it's moving. This is a setting in FS 2020 GPS console smoothness or something like that. I just set it to high. It doesn't use up a lot. And set it to high, because I remember I had it set to low and it was like all jaggedy. Make sure you set that to high, and that'll smooth this out. Someone was asking about that. All right, so we're going to make our turn here at Ozuzu. We're going down to 2,000 feet. Get ourselves into Cape May, and then we're going to go to LaGuardia and fly the CJ4. We're going to start it up with engines going. I'm not going to do cold and dark on the CJ4. But see, like this detail, like the Cape May Canal, I can see the Cape May Canal from here. I'm literally 11 miles away from that, and I can see that. If this was a CV1, you would never be able to see that. But I can see the waterway right now. I can almost make out the airport. Right there to my, 1130, right there, okay?
Kilo Whiskey Delta traffic Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo 11 miles west, 2,600 feet inbound to land runway 28.
We're not landing. Oh, they want runway 28? Okay, so that means they want us to enter the pattern. Let's see what they say. Cape May traffic 328 Tango Delta will be we're 10 miles west of the airfield. We'll be at 2,200 feet. We'll be entering on the left downwind for runway 28, Cape May. All right, let's set our bug. Set our heading bug for 28. Because we're going to enter the pattern. And we're going to do it right. We'll enter on the left downwind. We'll do left base into runway 28. Just got Microsoft Flight Simulator. Will be automated. You mean the check ride? You still have to do the check rides. And yeah, you got to do the check rides on air. Cape May traffic 328 Tango Delta is 5 miles west of the field. We'll be entering on the left downwind for runway 28 Cape May. Check that. Golf Echo. 328 Golf Echo. There's our airfield. There's the Cape May Canal right there. Cape May traffic 328 Tango Delta. Sorry, 328 Golf Echo at 1,300 feet. We are entering the left downwind for runway 28. Full stop, Cape May. Alright, we're at pattern altitude. Close to it. Close enough. Let's get the first notch of flaps in there. Slow this bird down. We're parallel with the runway for the most part. Good visual on the runway. We want to keep our altitude here for the pattern. Someone will put in the comments, you were below 1,000 feet. 328 Gulf Echo is midfield runway 28 for full stop landing, Cape May. Oh, you didn't do the call out correctly. You didn't identify the airfield. Yes, you're right. It's amazing. People are sticklers in aviation, and they should be. I mean, it should be an exact. You should try to shoot for error-free operation and protocol, following proper protocol. So we're going to be 45 degrees from the runway, which we actually it's pretty cool that we can look on the G1000 and see that. So we'll get to here. Cape May traffic, 328 Gulf Echoes turning left base for runway 28 full stop, Cape May. It's so much easier to do patterns in VR. Cape May traffic, 328 Tango Delta, turning final for runway 28 full stop, Cape May. I said Tango Delta again. It's Gulf Echo. Full flaps.
500.
Kilo Whiskey Whiskey Delta traffic Cirrus November 328 Golf Echo is on final runway 28 to land.
Thank you for letting them know that, co-pilot. All right. We are on the center line. We are at 93 knots. We're coming down to 89 knots. There is an airplane on the field at 208. All right, flare and throttle back. Little bit rough, but we'll take it. Let's clean up the flaps. And we will roll off right here. Cape May traffic 328 Gulf Echo clear runway 28 taxiing to GA parking. Last call, Cape May. Which way is he facing? Well, that's not the way I would want to come in. I don't understand something, dude. Alright, whatever. I'm just going to park here. You're supposed to be facing the other way because I'm coming in on the T. Alright. That completes that flight. Let's turn this baby off. So let's go strobe off, nav off, pitot off, avionics off. Engines off. Beautiful. All right, and let's check out our... I'm going to go out of VR here for a moment. And let's check out... Oops. Let's just check out... Well, let's go here and rent this plane. so no one else grabs it. Right there, that's us. My planes always have 328. If you ever want to look for one of my planes, always 328, and then 2 letters after that. Let's rent that. All right, so now we got my flight. Okay, so see here, this flight will be flown for Bambino. No, we have a choice. We could fly, because I have 3 groups. The Aero VR, which is not who I want to fly for. I want to fly for VR Aviation. So you basically say fly for VR Aviation, and now these 10 people are going to be flying for VR Aviation. Now, someone put 600 gallons of fuel in this plane. I mean, okay. In any event, so now we're going to fly. We have to do a flight to... we got to do a flight to Bedford, right? K bed. So let's clear this out here. Well, first let's look at how much we made. So let's go to log VR Aviation. So here we made not a lot. We made $573 for the group. Notice no booking fee. And here we made $655 for the group. All right, so that's good. Good. All right, so let's go back to Sky Vector. Hold on one second here, guys. All right, let's go to Sky Vector. And we are flying from K, LGA, to K, Bedford. I just want to make sure that Bedford, we have something to bring back to LaGuardia. Yes, we do. So I'm going to grab all 4 of these. I'll fly this later. All right. All right. So, and we need a waypoint here. So we line up with the airfield. So this is coming in that way. Let's see. We could take the long. Let's take the long way. Let's fly this way. We're going to go. Emil? Morris gives us 12 miles. We're going to fly over here so we can see Boston. We'll have a nice view of Boston and Logan. All right. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be flying over that airspace, but we want to. We're doing it for the view, right? All right, so that's going to be our flight. LGA to K-bed, 179 miles. So let's go to. Oops, let's go to. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's see. Go back. Show me the activity. That's new. That activity's new. I never saw that before. All right, so we're going to go with the CJ4. All right, let's go to here. Let's see, there's our new livery. Let's go to the CJ4. It's somewhere down here. Here it is. Let's just see if we got any liveries for the CJ4. Nope. All right, so we'll go aircraft selection, CJ4, and we're going to go K, LGA, and we're going to go K, BED. All right, we got to go down here. Stupid filters, which please give us the option to always leave these on. I can't stand that. I got to change that all the time. And then what do we say? Our sky vector is going to be Morris, Heber, and Morris. So let's go to, well, we can actually. There's Morris. Heber is somewhere around here, right? Huber, I should say. Add Huber. All right, beautiful. So now we'll fly. We'll have a nice view of Boston, and we'll fly right into Bedford. So that should be good. All right, let's see. Make sure we're taking. Hopefully, we're taking off from the right airport here, right? All right, we'll just take off that way. I don't care. All right, so let's do this like later in the day. We're going to do it like around 4 o'clock. So that should give us like an evening landing at Bedford, hopefully. Right? All right, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so let's take a little bit to load up. So no turning in strobes and beacon landing lights. I always miss that. Oh, you talk about an on-air, you get penalized for that? Yeah, I don't. You have to do that too. All right, let's see. So this CJ4 is nice. I love flying this CJ4. You know what's cool that I've never maybe have discussed, but I've certainly thought about? It takes much less time to load up flights in FS 2020 than it does in X-Plane. Now, I've got ortho and all that in X-Plane, so that's probably a lot of the reason. But it takes a lot less time. A lot less time. I have some planes, like the Torque Sim, takes literally 5 minutes to load a flight. And I've got SSDs for the most part, except the scenery's on, all my scenery in X-Plane is on a hard drive, so. All right, we're going to be heavy here, very heavy, because we've got 600 pounds of fuel and 10 people on board this beautiful aircraft, so. Now, so far, the navigation has been pretty good with this guy. I haven't had any problems with that, unlike the Dreamliner, which basically has a mind of its own with navigation. So, all right, let's get to the... Yeah, I spoke too soon. It's taken a long time to load. It's taken a long time to load. Here we go.
Tower Cessna November, Tree 28 Tango Delta at runway Tree 1 ready for takeoff departure to the east.
All right.
Cessna November.
Oral warning, okay.
All right, let's go to VR. Let's go to VR. Okay, let's go to VR. That's 3 times I had to hit the key to make that happen. Okay, gotta wait for the CPU and stuff to settle down here. All right, let's go to take off that view. So we got the Windows Mixed Reality view. Timothy, how you doing? Timothy, not in FS 2020 VR. No, have not figured that out yet. We need something like Avatab. All right, so let me, before I forget, I'm going to initialize FSEconomy. So that's started. Let's just make sure. Yes, that is started. And I want to check my altitude, so I don't really need to be much above like 3,000 feet, so I'm going to go to 5,000 feet. All right, so we'll go to 5,000 feet. All right, let's get rid of the yoke. And let's center ourselves. Make sure we're centered properly so we can read everything. Clock still does not work. It says 12:43:11 and it does not work. So that means my guess is that the GPS clock isn't going to work either. That sucks. They need to fix that. All right, so let's check out, let's see, altitude. Let's see, what do we want to be at? Where's the altitude? Wait, oh, there's 3. Okay, so it's showing up. All right, we're going to go to 5,000 feet, right? I know we'll burn more energy, but we want to see stuff. We're going to go 5,000. We're going to go flight director on. We're going to go nav on. We're going to go yaw damper on. So we got all that going. And we're going to go FLC on. And we'll go FLC at, where's the speed for FLC? We're going to go, we'll climb her at, this plane could probably do, hopefully this will work. So I've never tried this before. We're going to try it at 200 and, we'll try her at 200 knots. All right, FLC is on, nav is on, FD is on, altitude is set, parking brake is off, and we should be good to go here. Flight plan is loaded. It really sucks that the clock doesn't work. I mean, come on. You gotta have a clock in a friggin' plane. Now this one's a little shaky, like the cockpit doesn't stay like it moves, it kind of like moves around when I move my head, which is not good. But, alright, let's see. Yeah, we need Avatab, Timothy. That's what we need, something like Avatab. Alright, let's get this bird up in the air. Here we go. There's V1. Rotate. A little off the mark there. New York City. Gear is up. Flaps are up. And let's get our autopilot
Tower Cessna
on.
November 328 Charlie Juliet, continue for east departure.
Let's see, let's watch our FLC. Should go to 200. We are climbing
Tower
quick.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet,
Wow.
frequency change. New York approach Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet is type Cessna.
We are
25
rocketing up
C2
to
miles
5,000
west of
feet.
LaGuardia. Request flight following.
Yeah, so the FLC didn't work.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet, New York approach. Squawk 5454.
Squawk 5454 Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
Well, it looks beautiful.
Charlie Juliet radar. Contact 3 miles north of LaGuardia, 4,300 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
All right, we're picking up our magenta here.
New York approach Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet. Request clearance.
Long Island
Transition
Sound right
Bravo
there.
airspace.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet.
Leveling off at
New York
5,000.
Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Overspeed.
Throttling back because we're
Bravo airspace,
overspeeding.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
Horseshoe Beach, that Horseshoe Beach down there, I've seen that many times in X-Plane. Throttling back, gonna fly her at about 300. Still have to figure out how the airspeed works. Haven't flown this plane much. But as you can see, the clock has not changed. It's still at 12 hours, 43 minutes, 11 seconds. So it doesn't work. And the time to destination is 16:38, and that still doesn't work. So they got to fix that.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet, New York approach continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
Take a look at the outside here. Nice looking plane. Yeah, I did. I started FSE. Thank you, Cracker. I appreciate that. I double-checked to make sure. I just double-checked. I definitely started it. I've done that so many times. Cool. Yeah, so they didn't fix that clock. All right, so let's team up on them. If you want to put in a change request to Asobo for fixing the clock on the CJ4, the real world clock does not run, and the time to destination does not run on the PFD or the MFD. So let's all class action ask for that fix, because you need a clock in an aircraft. I mean, you always have your watch as a backup, but you need a clock in an aircraft. Now, I will tell you that this experience in this cockpit is a little jaggedy. Like when I move my head, like it's not as smooth as the SR-22. There's a lot more going on here, so I kind of understand that. Let me look up here. Nothing much up here, okay? Let's look in the back here, see what it looks like in the back. Okay, everybody okay back there? Oh, we don't have anybody. What happened to those 10 people that we were flying around? But it's nicely detailed. Unlike the longitude is not detailed in the cabin. This one is detailed in the cabin, which is nice. There's the right seat. Nobody over there. And looks like it's probably Westchester there, maybe? No, that's probably not Westchester. There's the Hudson way in the distance. I can see the Hudson River, which is pretty wild.
Resume on navigation.
Pretty wild.
New York approach on 124.075.
Going to 124.075.
All right, we can go up a little faster here.
New York approach Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet at 5,000 feet.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet New York approach. Continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
How could you not have a running clock on a plane? Look at that. Doesn't work. That looks so realistic. Now we are getting a little bit of frame stuttering in this plane. A lot more graphics to run. Let's see what the GPU is doing here. Oh, well, the GPU is only, wow, it's only running at 45%. CPU is 67%. Wow. VRAM's at about 9 gig. FLC doesn't work if you set the altitude lower than the current. Yeah, but I set it above the current because I was at 0 and I set it at 5,000. I set the altitude at 5,000, then I hit FLC and I set the speed. So it doesn't work. Definitely doesn't work. Yeah, GPU is only at 45, 50%. That's interesting. I mean, every plane's different because the modeling is different. The graphic modeling is different. Some are more detailed than others, Like, for example, in X-Plane 11, the Torque Sim plane, that plane has a super high res. So it uses up a lot of GPU and a lot of VRAM, where this plane is less high res, I guess, and it uses less. So it's not an exact science, and all aircraft aren't not created equal, I tell you, one of the things I love, just thinking about this, one of the things I love to do in FS 2020 in VR, and I always was, and I gotta be honest, I was hoping that when they released their VR capability that this would be the case, okay? I love to go to areas that I know well and just fly over them and, look at them from the air. For example, the area I grew up, right? I grew up in New Jersey, down by the shore, okay? And there's a park in my neighborhood that we used to go play baseball and football and stuff and hang out at this park. It's a big open field, a baseball field and stuff. And we were there all the time when we were kids. I wanted to land a plane on that little park. So I tried to land one of the Cubs on there, the Bush planes. Which was pretty cool, and just looking around this park where I spent a lot of my youth and, days and days and days of my time, or just flying over the houses that I grew up in, or the schools that I went to, the high school I went to, the areas, like when I first got my driver's license, I remember there was like these roads I used to drive on all the time near the river that I used to drive on, just flying around, and all these memories start, believe it or not, all these memories, at least for me, start to come back to you, because areas where you haven't been in 30, 40, 50 years or whatever, you start to think about, I remember that. So it's like you reminisce because your mind is being stimulated by these areas that you haven't seen in so long, and you're doing it from your desk. You're doing it from your gaming chair. It's just a very cool experience. Check out down there. It looks like a high school. Or maybe a college, actually. That might be Yale. No, it's not Yale. I mean, it could be Yale because we're heading up that way. Actually, that might be Yale. Anyway, yeah, so that was kind of it's a very cool thing to do. I highly recommend that. Go to places that you're familiar with and just fly above them at like 800 feet, or try to land on a place in an area that you used to hang out in, or it's just, like, for example, the Jersey Shore beaches, I'll just, take a Cub and I'll land on the beach, it's like, it's bizarre. It's really cool. And it just brings back all these memories. So, anyway. I know that sounds a little hokey, but, it's, to me, there's so much that you can do in this simulator because the graphics are so incredible. And especially in VR, it gives you that
Bradley approach
that
Cessna November
extra
328
immersion,
Charlie
that
Juliet,
3D
5,000
immersion,
feet.
you know. One thing I recommend, I think I did it last week.
28 Charlie Juliet Bradley approach. Continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
100 miles to Boston here. Fly near Mount Rushmore. Get a slow plane like a 172. There's an airport near Rushmore. Fly from there. You got to fly northwest, I think, to it. I forget the name of the airport. Fly around Mount Rushmore. It looks amazing. They did a great job modeling that. Really did. Hoover Dam's pretty good. Pretty good. Mount Rushmore is really good. But yeah, like I said, I just like to fly to areas that I'm familiar with.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet contact New York approach on 124.075.
124.075 for Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet. New York approach Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet 5,000 feet.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet New York approach. Continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
So those new to FSEconomy, let me explain to you what's going to happen with this flight from financially. So it's a plane that I'm renting that someone else owns, right? And there's a distance bonus on it, right? So that means I'm going to fly out from its home to Bedford, Mass. I got people on board, 10 people. Because I'm flying for VR Aviation, the group pays for the gas, it pays for the rent fees, ground crew fees, all that stuff. It pays for all the fees as well as the bonus, right? So when I land, that's all going to be calculated out, and this bonus is going to be outstanding, probably about $1,000 or so, right? I'll have to return the flight back to LaGuardia, which I already have set up with 10 people. And when I return the plane, fly for VR Aviation, so you got to do it both ways. And when I return the plane back to LaGuardia, that distance bonus will be refunded to the group, all right? So you got to remember to do that when you're flying for the group. If you're flying planes that we don't own that have distance bonuses, you want to make sure you return them back to where you got them so that this distance bonus gets refunded. That's interesting right there. Some sort of manufacturing right by the bend of that river. You see, we're starting to get into dusk. The sun is sinking a little bit. Can't tell you exactly what time it is because that clock doesn't work, but my guess is it probably around 4:30 p.m. Let's go outside. Let's go outside here and we'll look behind us and see where the sun... Yep, you see the sun setting there. It's probably about 4:30. There's a nice shot right there. Ooh, someone flying with me. Who's that behind me in a CJ4? I don't have tags on, so I can't see who it is, but I see someone right there. That little spot right there. Someone's following me. Is that take 6? I don't know. Usually take 6 is on my tail.
Charlie Juliet contact Bradley approach on 127.
I don't want to go to the map because I just don't want to get out of the yard.
127.8 for Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
Oh, you mean this map?
Bradley approach Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet.
No,
feet.
they don't show. They only show you on this map.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet Bradley approach. Continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
All right, we got 75 miles to Boston. And should be a nice lighted runway approach into Bradley. Or sorry, Bedford, not Bradley, Bedford.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet, contact Boston approach on 125.85.
Look how many things are in op on this plane.
125
That isn't, but that in op.
Boston approach Cessna
In
November
op,
328
in
Charlie
op.
Juliet 5,000 feet.
That works.
Cessna
In
November
op,
3,
in
28
op.
Charlie Juliet, Boston approach.
So many
Continue as
things.
planned. Altimeter 29.902.
I hope they plan to make everything operational in these planes, because even on the longitude, so many things are not operational. All right, so we've got about ground speeds about 326, looks like. So moving along in a nice clip. We'll be able to see Boston in the evening. I also like flying at this time of day because it's easier on your eyes, you know. You got to think about it. Your head's, if you have your head in this headset a lot, like hours, your eyes are right next to these panels. You know, I think about like the blue light emissions and stuff. Like, I try to give my eyes a break. You know, I don't like that's, you know, for me when I'm streaming, I'm flipping the headset up a lot, so that's a good thing, I think. But to be in this headset like for 4 or 5 hours without giving your eyes a rest, I think that's a concern for me. So when you fly at these evening time or golden hour time, if you will, I think it's much better for your eyesight, you know, for your eyes, and it's more enjoyable because it looks cooler. You know, everything looks cooler. Still 12:43 and 11 seconds. Officer Vinny, that's you, man. All right, you're in VR. What kind of headset you got there, dude? Cool view of the cockpit there. I got to tell you, we have seen a major influx in, or increase, I should say, in the people joining up on VR Aviators group, the Facebook group. Pretty incredible. I mean, it's, you know, it used to be maybe like 1 or 2 a day. Now it's like 10 people a day. A lot of people. I would say that we're at almost 3,000 now. We'll be at 5,000 by the middle of the year, I think. 5,000 people in there, which is great because it's a, you know, we started that 3 years ago to be the center place on Facebook for those interested in flying in any simulator with any headset in VR. There's people that are using G2s, Q2s, CB1s, Rift S's, Pimaxes, Valve Indexes, Vives, you name it. Someone's got it in that group, and they're, you know, so it's a wide, and, you know, multiple sims, DCS, FS 2020, X-Plane 11, Aerofly FS2. The whole idea is to keep it open to all flight simulators, all VR headsets, so that, you know, you got a question, you go to one place, you're going to find someone that can answer it for you. And I know the people in that group have helped so many people, especially in these last few weeks, of new people coming online, learning about VR and trying to understand how to get things configured and what the limitations are and all that. And it's a great group. There's great discussions. You know, I gotta really thank everyone, because it's very rare where we have any issues or, you know, people abusing the rules or that kind of thing. It's all, like, you would think with 3,000 people you'd have, you know, some issues, but everyone in there, you know, aside from the isolated issues over the last 3 years, everyone has been great, and they all, you know, really act
119.0 Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
maturely, and we keep it to about flight
Bradley
aviation
approach
and
Cessna
VR,
November
and it's
328
great. So
Charlie Juliet,
make sure you
5000.
check that out. If you're on Facebook,
Cessna
VR
November
Aviators,
328 Charlie Juliet, Bradley
just
approach,
search it up.
continue
You'll
to
see
over
2,900 members. Just join it up. You have to answer a couple questions just to make sure you're not a bot and that you're going to agree to the terms and conditions of the group, which are pretty simple and straightforward and what you would expect. And then we'll get you in there, and you can ask whatever questions you like. So make sure you check that out. And I usually, by the end of this stream, and the end of the day of this stream, I'll have like about 50 requests for new people that want to get in the group. Yeah, it is a great group, Cracker. It's excellent. Really helpful people, and everyone, you know, there's no snide remarks or, you know, people acting like ass hats, you know what I mean? Actually say that in the rules. Don't act like an ass hat, you know? So it's excellent. Check it out. All right, let's see what we got. 36 miles to Boston. Okay, so we're going to be looking out here for Boston. Let's check out altitude that we have to be at Bedford, just so we know where to get to. So Bedford is going to be, let's see, 132 feet. All right, so that's easy enough. So we'll probably, I want to be about 2,500 feet. And so we don't have much really far to come down. We'll just use the vertical speed to come down and manage the throttle ourselves if FLC is not working properly. You can see it's starting to get gray here. Now this is when gray's okay. You know, light is okay, but when it gets dark, really dark, I have a problem with the G2. As far as being able to see dark areas. You can see the lights fine, but dark areas are like, there's like a gray fog. But this, so far we're in good shape here. All right, 30 miles to Boston. I could see it right there, the harbor in the distance, 30 miles away, which is pretty wild. And we should have a good view of Logan. We'll pass Logan. A lot of flying today. 279 miles last trip. This one's going to be, what, about 250 round trip. So that's over 600 miles. It's a lot of flying.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet, contact Boston approach on 124.1.
All right, I can see the lights of Boston Airport there, or I should say Logan,
Going
flashing.
to 124.1 Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet. Boston approach Cessna November 328 Charlie
Now
Juliet.
that light right there, I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it. That's probably Bedford.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet Boston approach. Continue to Hubert as planned.
We're sort of taking the long route there. That's very likely Bedford right there.
Boston approach Cessna November 328 8 Charlie Juliet.
All right, so
Request clearance
let's get
transition
down
Bravo
to
airspace.
let's get down to
Juliet Boston approach. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Overspeed.
Cleared through Bravo airspace Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
well, look at this. It's just bringing us down. What?
Overspeed.
Oh, because I have FLC on.
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
That's wild.
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
Go down to 3,000 here. All right, so I guess I had the FLC on. I got it off now. It was on 325 knots. I didn't set it to that. Maybe I hit this by mistake. I don't know. I just think I don't think the FLC works properly. All right, 14 miles to our waypoint. But we should start to see Logan's right there. Bedford is right over there. Looks like. There's an airplane flying right there. Can't quite make out what it is, but I see his green and his red. Let's see if the officer's behind us. Don't see him. Don't see him. Okay. Yep, I could see Logan there. Someone flying into Logan.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet, contact Boston approach on 127.2.
Going to 127.2 Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet. Boston approach Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet 3,800 feet.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet, Boston approach, continue to hover as planned. Altimeter 29.92.
Now the city of Boston should be right there, but it's not really coming up on, I guess as we get closer we'll start to see the buildings. There it is. Just starting to generate right there. See that? Now we're definitely getting some frame time issues here. Let me just check the GPU. GPU's still at 50%. CPU's 62. So this is all 73. This is 80. So this is all CPU chugging along. Object generation is generally going to be CPU. You can see a bunch of planes in the air here. There's Logan right down there. Get out my head out the window, it'll be a little bit clearer. You can see the runways down there at Logan. There's the city. Don't see many lights in the city right now. You see lights on the roadways. Logan's got their north-south runways lit up. All right, we're gonna make are we making a turn here? Yep, we're gonna make a big turn here. That's probably right there. That flashing light out there about 10 miles is Bedford. There's the city. All right, let's get ourselves ready to land here. So we want to be landing at about 150 knots. We're going to fly straight to Morris here. Take a look down there at the airfield. Look at that. That's Logan. Logan looking cool. See the tower? Tower's a little blurry for my view, but I can certainly make it out. I can certainly make out the numbers on the runways. 22 left, 22 right. Head to Morris, and then we'll make a left turn right there. That white light flashing, highly likely that's Bedford. All right, our knots are at 235, so I'm going to stop being the tour guide and start to worry about landing this plane. I've only landed this plane one time before, so... Alright, so we are about, we're 12 miles away from K-bed, right there, you can see. You can easily make out the runway. There's Boston, right there. And we will get ourselves lined up here. And...
Hanscom Tower Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet is 11 miles east with Yankee to land.
Cessna November 328 Charlie Juliet Hanscom Tower. Make straight in runway 29er. Altimeter 29er.9er to wind 286 at tree.
Make straight in runway 29er Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
Alright, we're getting our trim set. Elevator trim.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
First level of flaps here, a little bit early, but get our gear down because we've got to slow this beast down. Got to watch our airspeed.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet cleared to land runway 29er. Wind 286 at tree.
Alright, coming down to 225 on the airspeed.
29er Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
Coming down to 210 on airspeed. With that next notch of flaps, plane will really start to slow down now. Alright, 185, 170. Okay, we don't want to go. We don't want to. That was weird. That was really. We are full flaps, 165. Want to keep her around 150, 160. $157 there. All right, we're coming down to 900 feet at 157, 156. 154, 500 feet. Everything looks pretty nominal. $147, don't want to go much below that. We are on the center line for the most part. Decent amount of runway to work with here, so start to slow her down now. Flare, throttling back, flaring, touchdown, nose down. That is all pedal sensitivity there. All right, good one. Might send a few people to the chiropractor, but that's all right. All right, we're going to. We missed our taxi here.
Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet, turn, next taxiway. Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet, contact ground on 121.7.
All right, we're good. We're good right here.
121.7 for Cessna 8 Charlie Juliet.
All right, successful. Parking brake is on. Turn off that master so it doesn't ring in our ears. Yeah, thanks. I thought it was actually that was a pretty good landing, man. You have a tailwind to KHNZ. Awesome. I thought that was a pretty good landing. I'll take that landing. All right, let's check and see. Go back to add a VR here. And we'll go to... what did I want to go to? Microsoft Flight Simulator. And we're going to go to Chrome window. We're going to go to here. Because we ended our flight. And let's take a look at how. See, again, we'll have to select the plane. We already have the plane, but we'll have to select the plane. We only burned 75 gallons of fuel. That's it? 179 miles? Wasn't it 179 miles? 180 miles? We burned 75 gallons of fuel? That's totally reasonable. So let's look at the log, BR Aviation. So this is our flight here. You can see here we have a minus for the group. So that, because we've had a distance bonus of 1541. So as a group member now, I'm obligated to get this plane back to LaGuardia with a full belly of pilots, of people. Because once I land this back in LaGuardia, we'll get this money back and we'll have a nice gain for the group. All right, so make sure you keep that in mind when you're renting planes that have distance bonuses, all right? And so we will take care of that for sure. For sure. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I really appreciate you guys hanging out today. Again, Diesel, thanks for the awesome livery on the SR22. Go to our Discord in the MSFS liveries, and you can find links to those liveries for the SR22 and the Ti SC2 for VR Aviation. If you guys haven't joined Aviation and FSEconomy, just check us out. Let me just show you quickly how to do that. Let's go to here we go. Boom. Go to groups. Go to all groups. Okay, and then scroll down to the V's, or you can do a search on the window, and in the V, QRST U. Hold on. Scroll all the way down. VR Aviation. Okay, it'll have a join button there. Mine doesn't say join because I'm already a join. It'll have a join button there. Just hit join, and we'll get you set up. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend, and take care of yourselves out there. Okay. Happy New Year. Stay safe.